Hello and welcome to Muscle Investing, where we invest from a position of strength. In all of my videos, I usually refer to real money, my money, middle-class money, when I talk about investing and saving money. Today I will be continuing that practice by talking about the first $100,000 that I saved, how I did so, lessons learned, and how you can as well. If you like these types of investment videos and would like to watch more of them, click the subscription icon on screen. Once subscribed, click the bell notification box, and you are all set. Please also consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon at patreon.com/muscleinvesting. And now, the 7 steps that I took to save my first $100,000. Step 1. Opening a Roth IRA. The first step I took to save my first $100,000 was to open a Roth individual retirement account. Through the Roth IRA, I was able to save a maximum of $6,000 a year with taxes already taken out of my contributions. I asked one of my business school teachers about Roths and opening one, and he said something to the effect of, every young person should start one. The next week I walked into a bank, met with a financial advisor, told her I wanted to start a Roth IRA. She helped me with that. And after a discussion, we selected a Franklin Templeton fund. I had this fund for years. When I sold it, it had only increased marginally in value. Basically, it was extremely low risk, so it grew very little. I would have been far better off investing that same money in Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund. Step 2. Learning about consistency, compounding, and a new awareness. The second step I took to save my first $100,000 was to get tenacious with my investing. I began contributing to my investments, both mentally and financially, on a regular, steady basis. I didn't for a number of years, for a variety of reasons. I was new to investing, I didn't know how important compounding was, and I was between jobs at many points. So investing in a Roth IRA was last on my list of things to do. When I realized how important long-term investing was in my late 20s, and further realized how much time I had wasted, I began saving through investing in earnest. I sold the Franklin Templeton fund in my Roth IRA and bought a BlackRock technology fund because I was and am into technology. I also added an international fund to my Roth IRA, a Dodge & Cox stock fund. I eventually sold both of these funds. The point is, I began to actively manage my investments instead of just letting them sit there, running by themselves. That was a big positive change. I began selling and buying different funds within my Roth IRA, which isn't an advisable practice, but I learned from this along the way, before settling on what I wanted in my Roth IRA. Dividend stability, mixed with growth potential. Step 3. Reinvesting dividends and capital gains. The third step I took to save my first $100,000 was to begin reinvesting my capital and dividends back into the index funds that generated them, increasing, over time, how many shares each index fund held. Step 4. Purchasing with cashback credit cards. The fourth step I took to save my first $100,000 was to sign up for 2 cashback credit cards from Bank of America. After receiving the 3% cashback credit cards, I stopped buying anything with cash. You do not get cash back when you purchase something with cash. By only using cashback cards for all of my purchases, I, in effect, created a new revenue stream, a small one, but a new stream that had not been there previously. I set my cashback credit cards to send all cashback rewards into the bank account that I used to invest in my Roth IRA. I also set the cards to automatically pay off the entire balance on the cards at the end of each month, before interest accrued. So I paid no interest on any of my purchases. Step 5. Gaining full-time employment. My new retirement account and the pandemic. The fifth step I took to save my first $100,000 was to gain full-time employment. Previously, I had only been working part-time and making around $16,000 a year. After a kick in the pants from my parents, I had 2 degrees at the time, and they couldn't understand why I was working at a department store. I took the civil service exam, and I got a full-time 40-hour-a-week job with the city in which I lived. When I first got my city job, I made a sizable financial error. To celebrate, and because I told myself I could now replace the money easily, I bought myself 2017's top-rated OLED HD TV. It cost over $2,000. I purchased it on Amazon with my Prime credit card during Black Friday and used the 5% cash back to pay off part of the television's cost. In retrospect, I should have spent the $2,000 on Vanguard's total stock market index fund by dollar cost averaging into it and by using the remaining funds to start an emergency fund. While working for the city, I bought shares of Facebook, Tesla, and Vanguard's S&P 500 index fund within my Roth IRA. These are some of the best investments that I have made and will continue to hold, though I did sell some of the Facebook shares for a profit. Through the new city job, I gained access to a 457B retirement savings plan. After my 90-day probationary period ended, I met with 2 financial advisors through my employer. I set up auto investing of $100 per paycheck from my weekly paycheck into the 457B retirement plan, paying myself first, as George S. Clayson suggests. I chose a tech fund and a PIMCO bond fund for my 457B retirement savings plan account. With a steady paycheck, I also set up monthly auto investing in my Roth IRA. I met with another financial advisor through my employer on the phone and via email, and he gave me investment advice that I greatly appreciated and continue to benefit from to this day. He told me to invest with this split: 40% large cap, 20% middle cap, 20% small cap, 10% blend, and 10% tech. He also gave me 2 recommendations for each type of investment based on what was available to me through my employer. I chose one fund for each investment group and got rid of the tech and bond funds I had previously chosen. I invested in these new funds for 5 years straight, reinvesting dividends and capital gains back into the funds. Before the pandemic, my investments in the 457B retirement account had generated $6,000 in dividends and capital gains. During the pandemic, when I was sent home by my employer, but paid every week because of my union contract with the city, I saw the market drop and drop and drop. I knew it was a buying opportunity. I called my third-party investment administrator with the city and told them to increase my weekly retirement contributions from $100 to $300. I kept buying $300 worth of shares every week while the stock market was down, dollar cost averaging into it. By the time the state's stay-at-home order was lifted and the stock market began to recover, I was up an additional $2,000 in my 457B retirement account for a total of $8,000 in gains. When the market rebounded, all of the shares that I had purchased at a discount during the pandemic gained in value, above what I had paid for them. Step 6. Opening a health savings account. The 6th step I took to save my first $100,000 was to open up a health savings account. My city employer offered a health savings account. I studied health savings accounts, found out that they were triple tax advantaged, and opened up one through my employer. I also opened up a custodial health savings account with Fidelity to invest my health savings account funds. I maxed out the account for about 2 years before leaving the city job. After I left my city job for a better employment opportunity, I could no longer contribute to my city-sponsored health savings account. Step 7. Developing the proper mindset and determination. The 7th step I took to save my first $100,000 was to develop a money-saving mindset. Popular personal finance influencers helped to harden my determination and showed me that saving my first $100,000 was possible through momentary sacrifice. For almost a 2 to 3 year period, I was saving 61% of everything that I earned into my investment accounts, a little over $32,000 a year. I treated yearly bumps in pay and tax return refunds as though they weren't there if I could. I added them to my investments and moved on, like a shark, moving forward, ever forward, to the goal of saving my first $100,000. In conclusion, reaching my investment goal. Gaining full-time employment, my 457B investing split, my Roth IRA investing in adjustments, the investing opportunity the pandemic represented, my HSA, other moves already noted, and most importantly, educating myself on investing, all helped me reach my first $100,000 in savings. I can't remember the exact day on which it happened, but I was still working for my city employer at the time. Which of the 7 steps that I took to save my first $100,000 did you find the most helpful or the most illuminating? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to thank you for watching this muscle investing video. I hope you found this video insightful and helpful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. And as always, you can watch one of these videos next.